Pearl opens with Move Over. It is the first track on her final album. The needle drops, her voice comes in, and the first thing she says to the world on the last record she would ever make is something she wrote herself. Move Over is the only song on Pearl for which Janis Joplin received a sole writing credit. Not a collaboration, not a cover, not a song written for her by someone else who understood her voice. This one she wrote alone, and she recorded it on September 25, 1970, 9 days before she died. This is the story of that song, what it says, why she wrote it, what it means that the woman who once said, "I don't write songs, I just make them up," chose to open her masterpiece with the one she made up entirely by herself. On September 25, 1970, Janis Joplin appeared on the Dick Cavett Show. She was there to perform Move Over, a song she had just recorded that same day at Sunset Sound Recorders. In the afternoon she had been in the studio, in the evening she was on television. That was her pace in the fall of 1970. The Pearl sessions were going brilliantly and she was moving through the work with the focused energy of someone who finally knew exactly what they were doing. Cavett asked about the song. She explained it directly, the way she explained everything. She said it was about men, specifically the man who tells you the relationship is over but won't move on. She compared it to dangling a carrot in front of a mule, the specific cruelty of someone who won't give you what you need, but also won't leave you alone to find it somewhere else. She knew this situation personally. She had lived versions of it her entire adult life, so she wrote a song about it. The lyrics of Move Over are some of the most direct she ever delivered. "You say that it's over, baby, you say that it's over now, but still you hang around me. Come on, won't you move over? I'm not quite ready for walking. And what are you going to do with your life? Life all just dangling. Either take this love I offer, or honey, let me be. Either take this love I offer, or honey, let me be." This is the sentence at the center of the song, the ultimatum that the woman in the song has finally arrived at. Not asking, not begging, stating the terms. You are either in or you are out. If you are out, then move over. Because I need someone who is in. She wrote this. These are her words. She did not find them in a Chris Christopherson song or a Jerry Ragavoy composition. She reached into her own experience and pulled them out, and then she put them first on Pearl. There is a famous Janis Joplin quote that has circulated for decades: "I don't write songs, I just make them up." It sounds like modesty. It sounds like someone deflecting credit, not wanting to be taken too seriously as a songwriter. It was also, the people around her said, not entirely true. She worked at it. She was not as casual about the craft as she presented herself. The bravado was partly armor, a way of protecting the thing she was actually doing from the scrutiny of people who might find it lacking. Move Over contradicts the quote. You do not stumble into a song this specific. You do not accidentally write either take this love I offer or honey let me be. That sentence comes from someone who has spent time with the feeling, who has lived in it long enough to find the exact words for it. She made it up. She also wrote it. Both things are true. September 25, 1970 was one of the most productive days of her recording career. At Sunset Sound, she recorded 3 songs: Trust Me, written by Bobby Womack specifically for her; Move Over, written by herself; and Me and Bobby McGee, written by Chris Christopherson. 3 songs, 3 completely different registers. Trust Me, the gospel soul of someone else's devotion, filtered through her voice. Move Over, her own anger, her own boundary, her own words. Me and Bobby McGee, someone else's open road, someone else's freedom and loss, which she inhabited so completely that the world forgot it was ever anyone else's. All 3 in one afternoon. She was 27 years old. She was at the absolute peak of what she was capable of. And among those 3 songs, the outside material and the covered classic, she put her own thing, the song she wrote alone. the one that said what she needed to say in her own words. When Pearl was sequenced, when she and Paul Rothchild arranged the order of the tracks, Move Over went first. This was a choice. You do not accidentally open your album with a specific song. The opening track is the first statement. It is what you lead with. She led with herself, with her own words, her own song, her own voice saying the thing she wrote. Everything else on Pearl, the Christofferson, the Womack, the Howard Tate, the Nick Gravenites, all of it follows this opening declaration. She was here. She had things to say. She said them. Move Over. Pearl was released on January 11th, 1971. Janis Joplin had been dead for 3 months. Move Over was the first thing anyone heard when they dropped the needle. Her voice came through the speakers. Her words, "You say that it's over, baby, but still you hang around me. Come on, won't you move over?" The album went to #1. It stayed there for 9 weeks. She never knew. She recorded Move Over 9 days before she died. On the same afternoon, she recorded Me and Bobby McGee in the same session where she was also recording Trust Me. She had been on the Dick Cavett Show that evening and explained the song directly. 9 days later, she was gone. And the song she wrote alone, the one with her sole writing credit, the one she opened her final album with, is still the first thing you hear when Pearl begins. Her words, her voice, her ultimatum: either take this love I offer, or honey, let me be. Subscribe. The next story goes somewhere nobody has taken you before.